So I think what's it called? Luna, she needs to like work on defending her ground better instead of like always, well, moving back right there. I think she put herself in a corner, but I think this was a moment where Nico should have took advantage on Athena because you don't want to let Athena get space, right?
Yeah.
She's pretty deadly, and this is where Nico need to chill and stuff. Like he threw a fireball like kind of early, and I think Luna was sniffing, so she was able to just like roll past it, and she was able to get a punish.
Yeah, and I believe Nico said they were pretty new to the game. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, that I even clipped
That
that when
was
that
so
happened. That
nice.
was super sick. Oh my god, Zio, I'll check my phone later, bro. We're trying to do this. I am falling for the bait. You're trying to mix me. What's it called? Yeah. So, with what normals would you think you would recommend in these scenarios? Because I'm thinking here that was good stopping. That was a good DP stoppage.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little crazy, right?
I
So
think
let's in this situation real quick. Let's talk about like the mindset of how like when stuff gets like over what's it called when you get too far down in your own mix or whatever. Like you tell me about this all the time. Like you're going too crazy.
yeah, like it seems like they were going a little too ham.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially like Robert, he could have slowed down his pace and instead of running things because he lost quite a lot of HP trying to do too much. You know how like sometimes you gotta chill and wait for things to happen, then have a good placement on when to throw fireball, when to uppercut, and you know how when he pushed Athena to the corner, I think he should have played it a little bit slow and try to what's it called, like choke her out with like stand B, wait for her to jump DP, make it harder for her to get out.
Yeah.
And like in the first one, the way how I saw Luna, I feel like she really likes to fight that full screen or like full screen. Yeah, pretty much like almost like full screen. But I mean, sometimes it's not too bad to do so, but you have to watch out for your real estate. And I think Luna, she needs to learn to be able to be comfortable and defend when they get too close
Yeah.
and don't push yourself to the corner. Be a little bit more offensive, and of course both of them has to learn the bread and butter combos. Once they learn the combos, learn to use their normals, especially like Yuri when they're not Yuri, I mean Athena. When you're in the crotch C range, you gotta use that bad boy sometimes.
Yeah. Gross
And
87. Welcome to the stream.
and you notice how like Luna was able to get straight hits with that close D.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could have been like stand C into forward B, and that would have been something. And she needs to, of course, work on block strings and like your 2-1 cancels. Even though like a fierce hits or crouching C hits, that you could just throw a cycle ball, for example, and just take some chip damage.
Yeah. And being able to make those decisions is going to net you like the situations that you're looking for more often. Like that's kind of like the glue between
Mm-hmm.
what you're trying to do and what's getting away from you. Um, we'll go back to this round real quick.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it
show
was right
me.
here. It was right here. Okay. So in this scenario, right, you're at advantage here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to slow it as much as you can. You went for the sweep. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue with that. That's a little nuclear because if it was a frame trap. I'm not going to argue it. Right now, here, this is where Niko, I want you to think about the game a little bit differently. Let me get my handy dandy pad up.
He
So
went for a really sweet. She did do a reversal and it did trade.
yeah,
Wasn't too bad, but I think like she probably could have heavy DP. I think she went for light, and maybe that's why he traded. But he should be worried on throwing stuff like that in general because it's kind of slow. It might be a little too early, and they may throw an uppercut. And if they throw something that had like, full like invo, like how Yori or someone else, for example, Kyo,
mm-hmm.
then it could have definitely been trouble for him, and it definitely like it won't be his turn anymore, and he'll lose that corner pressure because he just took him off of him. So
Yeah,
he should like definitely play a little bit more slower right there. Instead, like I would let her wake up and wait a little bit and use a stand B, Or if they committed to DP like how Luna did, he could have baited that DP and it would have been a bigger punish than just a trade, right? So he could
Yeah.
have got a little bit more off of it. It's like sometimes that patience is key.
Yeah, just for the sake of the, like just being a beginner and stuff like that. A lot of that's hard to follow all at once. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's why what I wanted to do, like the next two decisions here, D into that, you're still at the same positioning and she's stepping back. What
Yep.
I'm gonna try to draw this on straight. I hope you can see it, Fat Boy. But
Let me see. Yeah.
if he did stand D, right, coming to this distance,
Uh-huh.
because this I'm gonna mark the whiff too. So this whiffed here, right, somewhere like in this range. So if you're whiffing in that angle and she's crouching, you don't have a really much of a chance to hit it. But I think this is the range of the standee, if not shorter.
It looks
right?
about right.
And then your sweep is gonna be somewhere. Oh, that's a bad color to use. Let me get a different color.
It works fine to me, to be honest. It works.
No,
fine.
the one on the bottom didn't come out right. So
Oh,
here,
I see.
like that's your sweep range. But the problem is with the sweep that he was just talking about is either her, like let's just say she's ridiculous and she does an invincible move through it. Like fine, whatever, that's just one thing. She's got an invincible move right here, the DP. But she also has the hop to check your thing. If you sweep and it works, cool, but if she hops and she jumps over, you're gonna get smoked. You're gonna eat all of that. So
But
if
I think he did his pretty meaty though, so she couldn't hop. If I remember correctly.
right. But I'm saying from this range, right? Once again, in the instance of the whiff D and the whiff command grab, this is what I'm talking about. So the sweep would be a little risky, but after you swept her and you traded and you walked up, and you didn't walk up too far, but you threw a D trying to hit her, and then you threw a command grab. I don't know if that was an accident. I'm not 100% sure. But the whole point is there are better decisions we can start looking at in this situation, so it's less chaotic when this comes up in the future.
All right, so we could talk about, I like the, that little middle line touching Athena's waist.
Yeah.
That's definitely, the stand B range. And that should have been the next option if you want to throw a button. Because that will stop her from hopping.
Here, let me put some blue on it so we know it's a B. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, so if you want to throw something, after, like it was already bad enough for the stand D to whiff, and that stand D to whiff, and this is what I want to tell Luna is like, when they attack from angle, like when they throw that stand D in a whiff, and if you're crouching with Athena, I think you should definitely have that on lock and like ready, like they whiff an attack and went over my head from crouching. You got crouching C, and that is so fast. It definitely goes into forward B, and then you do heavy Phoenix Arrow. Now you put yourself out of the corner, and you got real estate to work with. Yeah. So Luna should have definitely work on whiff punishing because there was some opportunities. Niko needs to definitely like not whiff these things, especially like you don't want to double whiff. If you whiff one, not bad. It's not that bad. You can always back up because they didn't punish it and they weren't ready.
Yeah.
But from there, definitely stand B would have been the safest option, or you could have just backed up and wait to see how she would react it and react appropriately, or what you think will be the next move depending on her options or what she decides to do with them.
Yeah, and when you draw it out like this, you don't have to draw. Maybe I'll draw out the rest of them in the future. Like when I break down the YouTube video, I'm probably going to sit here and get like the frame data images and stuff like that, make it really, really clear, and something that's like really broad. But you could take what we're talking about here. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but you can take this thought process when you are whiffing a butt. You make like a crazy decision or something like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, or that felt really bad when that happened. Like take that moment specifically, look at it through this lens, and just start working through it just slowly. Even if you take 5 minutes a day, you figure out stand B is cool. All right, sick, cool. Stand B works. Then stand B stops working after a certain level, right? And then you have to now start incorporating the next thing. But then you start kind of figuring out the way you like to play and the flow and how to be able to keep your control. Because, you know, this one on the bottom here loses to a lot of options, but the one here stops her from doing a lot of options. It stops her from jumping. It stops her from doing whatever. You recover in time to roll. Like, if she tries to roll, like, if she does a nuclear option and you decided not to block, but you already showed her that she should block because you meatied her DP, she's probably not going to want to do it again. So, but that's all a lot to take in all at once. But there's the very forefront to work your way forward, right? And there, that was an unfortunate jump in. You just got to time that kick better.
Luna needs to combo that crouch C, so we kind of formed on that. I like how she defended herself right there. That was really nice. Good poke, but unfortunately that whiffed, and that was a good jump in.
That was a good recognition on the drop combo there too. Like right here, like I do this a lot, right? Where you drop the first one and then you get it the second time. That was good. Like you're recognizing where you dropped it, so that's very good.
He had a chance to DP right there when she jumps CD when he was standing, and he should have just tried to maybe go for a punish. He probably could have punished that actually.
Yeah.
That was a good DP. She definitely needs to chill out. And man, that
was godlike. Yo, yeah, godlike.
That shit blew my mind.
I couldn't believe that happened. I could not believe that happened.
That was still sick, dude. That thing still gets me.
Yeah, that reflect. I never use fireball characters, so when I'm like, oh man, Athena's being an asshole from full screen, I'll just use fireballs. I'm like, oh shit, she's a reflect.
They go back. I think when she backdash on a little freaking move that he does right here.
Yeah, there it is.
C, yeah, that moment could have been a crotch C right there when he missed that.
Damn.
And Niko needs to use that stand C, like that stand for C behind is super good. He definitely needs to be more patient and play around the fireball a bit better.
Like in general, I think the thing would be to be able to learn what calm is, right? Like learn where your calm space is, learn where you're comfortable with your character. Like on the screen, like stand outside of someone's range, like make your game plan really small, just kick, like anti-air, figure out how to condition people to do that kind of stuff and range out. Because you had a good idea to stay there. I don't know if you did it on purpose or your movement was stopped because you were pressing buttons right there. But that's a good range to be at when you're trying to threaten somebody. Like she can't kick you. She has to commit to a crouch button, and then, you know, you can work around that. That was unfortunate you jumped over her and she was ready, but
another thing, like I would like to say too, there are moments where like he could have thrown a quarter circle forward A, just get some free chip damage, and it could have catch her moving around. We know.
Oh, you mean the pawn? The pawn little like little slide forward?
Yeah, he goes forward and he throws that little freaking his hands out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would have definitely done that a little bit more during the neutral if you notice that there's a little pause and she hasn't been doing anything. That should have been like a small window where you just have to have that ready and just let it rip.
Yeah, it's a good idea to throw out once in a while. Like it's kind of like Dragon Ball Bardock. He's got that lariat that goes full screen real quick. Yeah, it's like similar idea. Sometimes you just fucking gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta let it rock.
They'll throw a freaking what's called like scissor kick here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the same principle. You know, you gotta make them worried about the stuff that you're gonna do. Even though Athena is a freaking monster and puts up a wall, and so is King.
Yep. Another thing, like I would like to see Luna do is to use the iron trigger to blow up the fireball before she kicks the fireball at him.
Hind trigger.
Yeah, the iron trigger, whatever that the first fireball before the follow up.
Oh, K dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that thing. So you could use that to break the fireball before you what's it called? kick the fireball. So I guess we could go back a little bit and stuff. So that was a good stand C. He could have done a fireball right after. I like his patience right there. Right there, he definitely hit too high. Luna definitely couldn't get anything there, but that was, I guess, a good DP.
I want to go back here. It was a
That
little
was a
like
risky DP though,
yeah.
but I hit him like right here.
Yeah, that was
I would have did
I
crouch
don't know.
B.
That might have been a fireball check. You
Yeah,
know, that probably was a misinput, to be honest. She's probably frame trapping
right
into the
there.
fireball. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just worked
I
out.
like how she went to other sides because she's probably more comfortable there.
And Niko, you're doing a good job of evading like the quick, like right here. You did something that I liked. You got the fuck out of there, but you didn't take advantage too much.
Mm-hmm. He could have.
And you do it a lot. You do it, but you do it a lot. And it's not that you don't that you're not taking advantage. It's just you're not taking advantage yet. So once you start seeing these situations more often, and you'll be able to sniff them out so much more.
Yeah, and they definitely have to work the light confirms to max mode.
Yeah,
I'll definitely change the game a lot. If they could just get like basic max mode combos out.
yeah, you'll be 4 touching to 6 touching people instead of 15 touching.
And another thing, like, can we pause it right here?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about like Niko. So there's one thing like I noticed that like Niko doesn't like to do. You know how King could just throw like a slow fireball, then you could just run with it. Then you could do like like hyper hop, CD, run with the fireball, see how they react to it. If they jump over it, you could standing roundhouse, crouching, C. If they roll past it, and you can do like a tornado kick, and you hit them for rolling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you should definitely follow up with the fireball, like run with a light fireball and see the way how your opponent reacts. Who knows? You may actually get a little bit of extra mileage off of that.
Yeah,
And
because
you just throw a light fireball, run, and if they're full screen and just chilling, and you just let them take the fireball, and you can just throw another one and just run with it.
yeah, now you're closer, right? So the whole thing is the fireball lets you set stuff up. Noticing that spacing is something that you also need to set up. You don't get the full screen for free because you threw a fireball. You get maybe like 4 or 5 of these ticks on the bottom that you have that are yours, that you're okay, I can walk up a little bit and I can anti-air from this range. And then if they don't do anything, now you have a fireball and you have the whole traverse. Like you have the idea to that. You have to either meet them air to air possibly, or maybe walk forward and do nothing. But like 90% of the time when you throw your fireball and they block it or they don't deal with it, the fireball character wins space. Whether or not they take space or not, it's up to you. But
Yeah.
and that's where you can play around with it too, because if they're like, oh, they want to take space while doing their fireball, King has a great trip guard anti-slide, or like slide in, like you could slide right in their DMs into a max combo if they're really trying to get you from full screen, or go over your fireball, or meet you air to air or something. Like you can mix up what you do behind the fireball. The fireball is kind of like raising your hand and going like this, like, ooh, I'm not trying to kill you, ooh, whack, and then you hit him with the actual punch. You know what I mean?
And if they keep staying scared, and Luna, she has been showing that she's willing to always back up, and that should have been your test to see how far she wants to back up. Because it seems like she likes to go to the corner. I don't know if she just comfortable there, but maybe she just didn't want to get too close at the moment because she looks like she likes fighting like mid range to far range in a way sometimes. And you could have definitely like used those light fireballs and follow up with it and see if she'll push herself to the corner. Then from there, like I think King could definitely be a wall, and you could have definitely like make it rough for example, Sylvie in this matchup. I believe you could make it rough for Sylvie to get out of the corner if you develop a good like corner pressure game eventually down the line in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's well put. I don't have anything to add. You want to keep rolling?
We could keep rolling, yeah.
All right. We'll keep an eye out for it as we're going. Yeah, with a max mode combo. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's 1 bar, but still, the max mode combo there would have been good.
I think what was it called? Good thing that was a catch. I think Luna definitely should not be too scared on going in with Sylvie, because like in this matchup, if I think like Sylvie has to get in, but you make sure you're patient at the same time. Make feint your movements and all that stuff.
Yeah, and defend your space, kind of like how you do with Athena. You already do a pretty good job of it with her.
Yeah.
Like especially like there, like you were just like, oh, don't jump at me, don't jump at me. Yeah, that's great. Like employ the same kind of thing with Sylvie. You know, sometimes in place, like mix up your movement, schmoof,
Yep.
schmicks people.
She definitely gotta work on that crouch C. I saw like a few times where she could hit crouch C with Athena, but I had that thing
Oh, with
like
the crouch C range.
Yeah.
Yeah, her
That was really
crouch
funny.
C is ridiculous. Yeah, right there. I think that might have worked.
She could have
right?
punished too, like when he rode one.
Right here.
Oh, never mind. Where was it? We
No,
saw
I think
it.
it's here.
Right
There
here,
you
crouch
go.
C.
That was
would've
it.
been it.
All right, let it run 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna try to freeze frame it on it.
See, like he could have been doing like stand B instead of like whiffing double crouch. He did it again, like you know how he whiffed attack after stand D. It could definitely be a stand B.
Yeah, right here is where I can even predict to you, Mr. Flamenco, if you're watching, you're gonna go here into max.
I think she could have been in crouch
Here.
B range right there. She could.
Oh wait, no,
B.
she had no bar, but still, that's like crouch C into fireball.
I think she would did crouch B into crouch C. It would have been
crouch
like
B into crouch C.
Yeah, I think it should have hit.
But that's a
like
that's a punish right there when he rolled through. But that's something to watch out for.
Punish, yeah.
Yeah, that's something to watch out for right there. Yeah, sweep too. You could have swept. You could have done a lot of stuff. Sweep to set up your pressure. But that's just one thing you can pick up as you go.
And one thing I noticed that they don't hot pressure each other. Like, I just realized it right now. Like when they start able to hop B, hop D on each other, that definitely changes a whole new like pressure game, and it's gonna change the pace of the game a lot once they get up close, because they're gonna test each other's DP eventually, right? And if they're once they get good at hopping on each other and they're not good at DPing it, then that means it's just gonna open a new like world for them to start applying pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like if Luna actually had real combos and she get him in the corner after like a crouch be like that, okay, it could have been like a lot more. Like she could get a lot more damage with the resource that she has.
Yeah, optimizing in the lab is definitely important for the tournament.
And definitely missed opportunity to punish. Like,
Yeah,
see, like
each other
I don't know,
out.
like right there, Heinz should like he doesn't need to like full jump. He could have been like what's it called, doing like hop CD, and I don't see that
Yeah,
enough.
does Hein other than just catching somebody, does Hein get anything off this drill kick right here?
That not really, not off of regular. That's why no one really use it.
Okay, so that's just like a risky move. It was like his version anti-air. Now in the same aspect, if he did CD here, would he have cleared the fireball or no? Yeah,
I'm not sure if he'll like be able to go over the fireball. Maybe looks kind of tight though.
Yeah, that might have been real close.
That's where Luna, she definitely could have after the super, she could have do like the dash, his command dash, and get out the corner and push him in the corner. And like again, Luna is just so comfortable playing that long range game. I think she needs to be able to be offensive, because you notice how like all these things that she's doing, wasting all that meter, is definitely like getting bit by like mosquitoes and shit.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, it's great that she is able to do that, but I believe she could probably run and do hurricane kick and slide into a light DP.
Yeah.
Right, and then you could do super with K, so you're getting a little bit more. So she just had to be able to optimize her situation a bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be beneficial.
Yeah, something to like practice. Like right there, like I think King could have definitely done something to punish K, but K should have just been chilling in the back like that. She could have Luna, if she kicked the fireball, I think that probably would have punished King right there at that moment, because when the Ein trigger just blew up the fireball.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're being annoying. This is the best kind of King play. I want to look at this again, and we need to look at this. I don't know if that was in reaction to it, but this is what we're gonna talk about it. All right. The opponent jumps back from a range where they think you're going to fireball, but it ain't that big a deal. That hit him. Memorize that range. Memorize that range. Memorize the timing of that too. That doesn't let him jump. It's your turn. After that,
I like the live
your
fireball
turn
right
again. Remember this sequence. Please remember this sequence. You did max. That's fair. But from those three, that was really good. Good setup. Because that's also ready for when your opponent is going to roll through. You have plenty of time to respond.
Can we go back to when King's in the corner and she did that one fireball?
Yeah.
And she before max mode, like, I probably wouldn't have popped max mode right there. That's just
sorry,
me.
my bad. I went back too far.
We'll get there. So that right here, like I said, max mode, like he just like he was just dogging her, right? She could have just thrown a light fireball with King and it would have played out a little bit better, but
So you think like when after the because I don't think there's an EX fireball ever.
that was a mistake right there. I think that could have been yeah.
I see what you
out.
see now. I was so like, oh, let's keep this good thing that happened. This next part was a mistake. I overlooked this. Okay, good idea. Fatboi, lay on the knowledge.
I would have just chilled a bit because, like, after a foul, you want to wait to see if they get desperate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that roll could have just been like she got desperate, she wanted to get out, and you could avoid that situation earlier, and you could have just definitely punished that instead of losing all that HP that you had on that life lead advantage. Just something to just consider. Don't do too much, but if you do want to do some stuff, give it a little pause and consider to see what happens next.
Yeah, and that pause is data too, right? Like you're pausing with intent, with an intent to look at what they're going to do. If they constantly do the same thing, you know exactly what you need to do. Or if you don't, figure out how to deal with, oh man, someone's jumping all the time.
Yep.
That's the easiest way to stitch it together.
KOF requires a really good balance of going fast, and you can't go too slow. Like it's such a weird game for me to explain to like how everyone to time their things, but I feel like eventually it just becomes instinct on how you play and feel your opponent.
Yeah. Yo, tornado kick. Oh, risky business. So after this tornado,
watch the matchup and talk about Luna Sylvie.
Yeah,
So
I want to before we go, like I'll rewind the whole match, or the whole thing. But right here, could he have done his fireball that he did before?
I would have did the light fireball.
But that was the setup that we were just talking about.
But instead he jumped
and he took a risk and died.
Yep.
So you can use that other setup once in a while, like to just be safe if you don't want to take a risk. That's a good idea. Not all the time, And what you do is on you in tournament. You can't hold me to it, but
like I like that. She should have chased it. Chased
the CD.
Chase the seat after the CD hit. And stoner vocabulary. Right here, I would have ran because she runs so fast. Would have closed the distance.
Yeah.
And you could have put pressure. It could have been a different game. Unfortunately, that hit her. She probably pressed a button, but she needs to chill. Like when the King gets to her standing C and heavy kick range, she definitely has to chill and be careful with that.
I feel like Sylvie is a lot more of a risk taker on Luna's team compared to the rest. The rest of the team seemed very solid, very like not extremely risky play, but like there's a lot of times I'm seeing Luna just like that, like just dropping super.
Yeah, she was just trying to get it out there. Hopefully they get into it.
Yeah, it's working out.
Yeah. But this is where like they need to level up to get to a certain caliber where like these stuff won't actually work.
Yeah,
they'll know it's a bad thing in general because it's just wasting resources.
Sorry, I'll let you talk over this one. My bad, I hijacked it.
But so right here, I think it was right here, right? That never mind. She should have chilled. She was running into too many things. I would have just like crouched and blocked. You don't have to worry about an overhead. Just block King's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly what King's doing right now. Just pressing a button, waiting, pressing a button. That was a little crazy, but that wasn't the craziest thing in the world. You know what I mean?
See, and Niko was just like pressing too much buttons right there. That's why he's getting caught.
Oh, she jumped over the fireball right there. That makes a lot of sense.
And see
That's
how
why
he's getting desperate. He just needs to chill. Luna could have did definitely a little bit more to punish that. Yeah, he just, you know what I'm saying, like he's doing too much too fast. He needs to just chill and wait for the opportunity. That worked out, and that's what he should have fireballed.
Yeah, DP into DP. But I think the reason he didn't fireball was because he rolled through with the EX. And I'm pretty sure there was zero character knowledge, or not zero character knowledge, but like the character matchup was a big issue right there. You see that? Like that probably conditioned the shit out of him to not to not throw a fireball after that scenario.
But the tornado kick did hit though, so you kind of want to like make it where if they wake up and throw a fireball, they're waking up to being pressured. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
then mixing up that pressure too. Or oh man,
you could have punished that. I think this is where he messes up. Gotta chill.
Yeah. So he gets the tornado kick. This is where I'd recommend fireball.
I would have liked fireball right there, but he ran into that.
But if Sylvie kicks over it, that's unfortunate. Hopefully, it's not bad advice.
Yeah. Another thing, like I fuck with the Sylvie anchor what Luna's doing because like, but once she learned her combos, and then the Sylvie stacked of meter, yeah, that's HP bar is pretty much deleted.